How's it going, Dave from Comic Book Investments? Well, in this video, we're going to go through the top trending comic books. And I, as a comic book dealer, been doing this for forever. This is my full-time job. I can kind of give a different perspective on what you should do with these comics. Whether you should buy them, whether you should hold them, whether you just get rid of them, don't even care, don't even waste your time, that kind of stuff. So let's go through the list, and I kind of went through, key collector, go collect, and cover price, and I go through all those lists and kind of pick out different ones that I think are worth talking about. So I'm not going to cover everything that's on all those lists because it'd be probably like 20 or 30 comics. So I'm just going to go through some highlights and what to do. So first on the list, this is a pass. This is Bodies number 1. Now, it's been rumored and speculation that, the show has been optioned to, I believe, Netflix or something. So there's a show option for this one. I've always said this is like, just because something's been optioned doesn't mean anything. It's like, okay, there could be, it could just fall by the wayside like most of these do. There was what's that show called? They're talking about Warner Brothers, HBO Max, which is a pretty big company, was talking about how they're making a Gotham PD. They just scrapped it. So that can happen all the time. You can have writers, directors, all sorts of things attached, and it'll never ever get made. And even if it does get made, maybe it doesn't even get picked up. That leads us into our next one, Sixth Gun. This is a pass. I made a whole video talking about this exact one. This is prime example of everything I'm talking about. Tons of rumors coming out, and they're saying, they're going to make this, then it got dropped. Then they got a actor or director and writers attached to it, and then it got, I believe it was, I forget the company that was going to make it, like Sci-Fi or something like that. And they started a thing, and then they dropped it. Then it got picked up by another company, and they made an actual pilot. You can watch the pilot online, and it even had Pedro Pascal, who's in Wonder Woman 2 and also in Narcos and something else. I'm blanking. But anyways, the Mandalorian. It's because you never see his face. Anyways, huge actor. You think it would be made. Nope, they dropped it. They don't want anything to do it. Even though a pilot was made, dropped. So, Sixth Gun. I mean, I would pass on it again because here's the thing. Let's just say it does get made. It has to be good. Here's a prime example. Lock and Key is a TV show on Netflix. I don't know if they ever made season 2. I don't know. I don't even follow the show. That's a comic book. You know where the comic book sits at a 9.8? It's literally the same price as it was like 10 years ago. Like $250. It hasn't really gone up. Nothing really happened to it. So just because all this stuff, it goes through all those hoops and actually gets made, if it sucks, no one cares. And it will just be a book that will never go anywhere, even though it got made. And think about Lock and Key. Do you think even if the show got made, do you think, it's not very good, or I don't know how many seasons it has, do you think all of a sudden the book's just going to spike in value? Sorry. All right, next up, we got Irredeemable. Now, this is an ongoing series, which is a good thing because you want something that has lots of legs. But I still think it's a pass because, it has a few things I like about it. Number one, it's an ongoing series. That's good. You don't want something that was like, we made a limited mini-series out of 6, and then that was it. And then randomly someone comes and picks it up like 10 years later. Another thing it has going for it is it has 13,000 copies were ordered by the retailer. That is a very small number. So, since it's a very small number, supply and demand. So it's going good for it. But again, it was basically on a podcast that Mark Wade revealed news about this property coming forward. This comic book seems really interesting. It says where he takes the world's greatest hero, make him the world's greatest villain. That to me sounds pretty interesting. I just don't see it. There's a lot of more hoops it has to jump through. And in order to do all that, it's going to take years. So I would pass on this book, but I would say maybe let's see if there's any more news coming up in the future, because it's going to take years upon years and years. I mean, not as long as it'll take Todd McFarlane to make the Spawn movie, but it'll take many, many years. So I would pass on this book. Next up, now these books are keep an eye out, and they are green, meaning these are on the trending list, and I think they're something worth, I guess if you feel the need to pull the trigger, so to speak, there's something worth in it. Now, someone asked me to say if I have any copies of these books going forward, which I have in the past and which I will do. And I'll explain what I personally will do, but don't take my word for it. I could be wrong. Been wrong many times. All right, next we got Batman 2. This is the first appearance of a lot of things. First appearance of Talon, William Cobb, and the assassin. First appearance of Talon. I read that wrong. First appearance of Talon, the assassin for the Court of Owls, and also the great-grandfather of Dick Grayson. Interesting. And this is, I think, also the first appearance of the Court of Owls. So there's speculation that this has gone up, like 286% from the week before, because there's speculation that the Court of Owls will be in the Robert Pattinson sequel to The Batman. They're making a sequel. That would be 2 years out. Usually, if they're going to make a sequel, it's going to be about 2 years. And Matt Reeves, the director, seems like he's on top of things, and so definitely, is not going to be like, oh, I'm going to do a bunch of other products and come back to this one in like 10 years. Warner Brothers is going to be like, you better make a movie. We need money. So this, to me, seems like a very logical choice for this type of Batman that you're dealing with in this universe. So I could definitely see that. I personally am going to pick up copies. I'm not going to pick up a whole bunch, but I'm going to pick them up, throw them away somewhere, and just wait and see. I believe you can get this probably pretty cheap. You don't have to always go for the 9.8s. You can go for 9.4s and things like that. So me personally, I'm going to pick up some books. Just saying. So something to keep about. Could work out, could not. All right, next we got Marvel Point number 1. This is the first appearance of Nova, the Sam Alexander Nova. What's the other guy's name? Richard something. I want to say Richard Riker, but I don't think that's right. Richard something is the original Nova. It's also the first appearance of Kane as the Scarlet Spider, as Death of Terex, and it's the first appearance of the Exterminated. Also, in the Doctor Strange 2 trailer, it shows him in Doctor Strange in a different costume, the Defender's costume, I believe. And this is the first appearance that Doctor Strange is wearing that costume. So that's not really speculation, it's already a fact. So that's why this book is up 200% from the previous week. To me, definitely something to keep an eye out. I think it's getting a little push because of the Defenders, but it's also the first appearance of the Sam Alexander Nova, which, if I was a betting man, I think Nova is coming to the MCU at some point, but I would get Nova number 1. All right, next we got Spider-Man 209. This is the first appearance and origin of Calypso. Yes. And there's been speculation. So in July of 2021, there was speculation that Calypso would be in the Kraven film. Then in March, this month of 2022, Ariana DeBose, I think it is, was confirmed to play Calypso. So that is a confirmed thing. Will this person have a big part, small part? Who knows? I would imagine if you're doing an origin of Kraven, it'll probably be something part of his backstory, but how much of the movie is going to be backstory versus how much of it is going to be currently what's happening to him, I don't know. But it's up 300%. That's something I would keep my eye out on. I think I have a copy or two lying around. I got a bunch of Spider-Man complete runs, mostly complete. And so I'll probably start digging through those and start pulling those out and, pushing them back, getting ready to okay, it's coming up. So that's my take on that one. All right, next we got up is the yellow, which will be speculation. This is kind of be cautious. So it's kind of like yellow. Personally, when I see a yellow light, I just gun it as fast as I can to get through it. So But do what you will. I guess it means like be cautious, yield, or something like that, or prepare. I don't know. Anyways, so Beetle Juice, Crime Busters of the Hunt, #1. This is the first appearance of Donnie Juice, the brother of Beetle Juice. This one is up 633% because apparently Brad Pitt, yes, the actor, has a production company, and they're producing Beetlejuice 2 with Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice and Winona Ryder. So that is very interesting to me. I would see this as a very smart play. If I was like this production company, I'd be like, yes, let's do that. That's like, everyone's trying to make these nostalgia videos, of like, let's reboot something that people loved back in the day. So definitely I could see this movie happening. So the speculation is it's going to be Donnie Juice, the brother of Beetlejuice, because Michael Keaton, is definitely much older now to be playing Beetlejuice. I think he's in his 60s. So it'd be better to have like a younger. So that's why they're speculating this. I'd also get the first appearance of Beetlejuice in comics as well as this one. All right. Last one on the list is Caliber Presents #1, which is the first appearance of the Crow. Now, I've been specking on this book for a long, long time. I think I have a handful of Caliber Presents. I have a handful of Crow #1s. I would personally go with Crow #1 over Caliber Presents because the Crow #1, there's less of them out there, and with a black cover, it's harder to get in the high grades. I think that's going to be a more valuable book in the long run. But the reason why this is on this list is because early rumors that Robert Pattinson has been approached to play the Crow. Now, I even said in my Batman review that Robert Pattinson's Batman reminds me of the Crow. Like, it reminds me of that 90s grungy, and the Crow, narrates through it and is very emo, which is fine for the Crow. It's just, I don't find it fine for the Batman, but, that's for my review. I do not see Robert Pattinson playing the Crow because it is way too similar to the Batman, and he is like that type of actor, like, wants to expand his acting abilities and challenging himself. Going from the Batman to the Crow, both superheroes, all that kind of stuff, comic book movies, and very similar the way he's acting in the Batman, he will not do it. So I do not see. But that does not mean the Crow won't be made, because the Crow has been trying to be rebooted for a long, long, long time, for many, many, many years recently. So I think it's going to happen. That's why I've been slowly buying them and pushing them away, which is good, because the slow hype is what just builds it up higher and higher. You have the insta hype, and it goes up and down, right? Short-lived. So that is about it. I hope you like this list and this style. Let me know in the comments below what you think of it. And as always, have a great day, and check out this little video at the end of this video.
You'll be here through these highs and lows. Highs and lows. If I need a little help in some trouble.
Stream my new song, Highs and Lows, out now.